good morning, and welcome to Six Flags Great America for Wrath of Rakshasa's Media Day. This is my first legitimate media day, so completely new experience for me. Super exciting. I love B&M dive coasters, and this now being the steepest and the one with the most inversions ever, count me in. I am just nerding out so hard. Coaster YouTube is like my Netflix, so recognizing these creators that I've watched forever, it's like meeting famous actors. It's crazy. So Wrath of Rakshasa is interesting to me because it's another dive coaster, and there's a lot of things that I'm excited. Again, the beyond vertical drop, the inversions, and by the way, a few of these inversions look very unique and very different, especially for a dive coaster. But something I'm fascinated by, the dive coaster seems to be a pretty long-running fad. I don't know if you'd call it a fad, but it felt like it had a good bit of initial popularity in the 2000s. You got, the Busch Gardens parks adding theirs. There was kind of an initial boom happening everywhere. And then the model seemed to kind of chill out, and then we had this resurgence. I don't know what coaster was responsible for that resurgence. But immediately we started getting rides like Valraven, Yukon Striker, Dr. Diabolicals, Emperor, back to back to back, and it seems like this model has really picked up. It's B&M, so you know it's going to have great capacity, great throughput, it's going to be a people pleaser. But at this point, are there really many like Six Flags parks left that don't have one? The camera and production nerd side of me, Alpha and Omega, they do the official media and video, so the footage that Six Flags actually winds up using, and they're the ones also who set up and facilitate the on-ride POVs. They're flying a drone, incredible team. This is not just your little run and gun setup. This is like a whole thing. Okay, so we're here today for Wrath of Rakshasa. I'm here with Tony Clark, the spokesperson here at Great America. This is my first ride, and yeah, this is gonna be the steepest dive coaster, also the most inversions on any dive coaster, so let's get it.
You ready?
I'm ready. I've been ready all morning.
See, I like a genuine first-time ride.
This is legit. You're gonna get the raw reaction, but the first new coaster here in 6 years, so let's see what we've been building up to.
So we're 180 feet up. 180 feet up. We get to the edge.
Oh.
We're gonna hang here for 3 seconds.
96
and then
degrees.
that 96 degree drop. Here we go.
Oh!
Implement.
Graying out over here.
Dive loop.
Oh my goodness. Here we go. Oh.
Hardline roll.
Oh, into the turn. It's like an underflip.
How about another one?
Another one. You see the barrel roll.
Oh, hey, how about another one?
Oh man. Ooh, little pop there. that is the ride. That is quick and intense.
Do you feel the wrath?
I feel the wrath.
That is the wrath.
Just got off my ride on Rakshasaroni. Really good. It's kind of what I expected. It feels like the tightest, like boom, boom, boom dive coaster out of all the dive coasters I've done. And the only other small scale one was Dr. Diabolical's Cliffhanger at Fiesta, Texas. This was even tighter and faster paced. I don't know if I necessarily feel the extra 1 degree from 95 degrees to 96 on the drop. I think it's more like Steel Vengeance and Iron Gwazi. It's like, is it placebo that you're telling yourself it's actually steeper? I don't know, but it is a phenomenal drop. The ending corkscrew, it's not really a corkscrew. The last two inversions are kind of similar. They're kind of just rolls. One just goes a little higher. So it's like almost between like a barrel roll and a 0G. It's just like flatter than a little bit of hang time there. It definitely depends on which seat you're in. I rode in the very front and in the back on the far right. I preferred it in the back on the far right. Obviously the front is the best for the view and for getting that dangling over the edge feeling, but I think the back is better because that top part of the drop is extremely tight on all dive coasters because they hold you there. But you experience a lot more of that whip on that short radius when you're in the back because you start further back on the drop. So I also recommend being near an outside seat because on some of those inversions, you kind of get tossed around and there's some more laterals going on as opposed to being more in the center. The drop was great, but the standout to me was that 0G roll into the turn. It's kind of like what RMC does with the step up underflip. Super whippy moment, especially on a dive coaster. That much whip laterally on trains that are that wide is really unique and it's great. Now, as far as the elefante in the room, first I'd be like, hey, there's no elephant in the room, it's a bunny and a duck. So you're wrong there. But if you're talking about newer B&Ms being a bit more rattly, a bit more rough, it's a little bit there still. Now, I haven't been on Iron Menace. I found this similar to Dr. Diabolical's in that regard, but it is a bit jittery and people there were saying it's not quite as bad as Iron Menace, but there is a bit of a shuffle. So I'm here with John Kraniak, the president of Great America. John, thanks so much for being willing to answer a few questions. My first is Wrath of Rakshasa replaced a much smaller kind of splash battle ride. I would not picture a big B&M dive machine to be the thing to go there. So what kind of led to this being the right choice and how did you make it work in such a small area?
Yeah, well, you're not alone. I don't think many people could picture that when we announced what was going in where the space Buccaneer Battle occupied. So space is at a premium here. We kind of knew what we wanted to do. Taking out Buccaneer Battle, there's a little more space than people might have imagined. We had some overflow queue. Sounds kind of funny because didn't really need much queue for Buccaneer Battle. So we're taking that out, turn it over to B&M. Fantastic group to work with, one of the best. And they went to work and put their engineers on it and were able to work with so much and to get it into this area, stretching all the way over towards Southwest Territory on the other side of the Midway to create this beauty. It's so impressive.
Oh, and I feel like there's a lot of parks where the rides are almost standing on their own, but you can look like over here and you see 5 or 6 rides just straight through, so it's really neat. Something else I'm curious about is Wrath of Rakshasa has a focus on inversions, and then obviously that world's steepest drop for a dive coaster. A lot of other dive coasters kind of have that mid-course area with the second drop. Was that a thing in consideration? What kind of wound up taking this much more inversion-focused, aggressive approach maybe to a smaller dive coaster?
Yeah, no, the dive was the direction that we wanted to go. We have understood over the years that one of the drawbacks can be that you experience the dive, which is the key element, obviously, of the dive coaster, and how much more after that.
Yeah.
So we wanted to continue to push it, go for the most inversions on the dive. And the other drawback we hear on even some of our own coaster is that mid-course brake run.
Yeah.
Right. So can we go without? right? And kind of pose that to B&M as well. And can we make it? We wanted to focus on throughput to be able to move people. We're a high capacity park.
Yeah.
So can we go for throughput? So we wanted the 7 across on the trains, but we wanted to go for speed. We're throwing all these elements at them and say the wider trains, more throughput, no mid-course break.
Yeah.
So all of it came together and to create this experience, the speed elements, the inversions, all of it to make a phenomenal ride experience.
Yeah, so exciting. And my last thing, this isn't really a question, but as I was just sort of researching the ride, I saw that it has a 48-inch height requirement. I also just went through the rides list here, and there are a lot of coasters you guys have. Max Force, this, Demon, your wooden coasters. There's even more that have this 48-inch height requirement. So I don't know if there's an official record out there, but I'd imagine for 48-inch riders, this is probably the park to be at as far as getting on a ton of thrill rides.
It kind of surprised me too that this was 48 inches, and that's straight from manufacturer. So I was happy to hear that as well. You know, some of the younger guests, are you ready to do it or not at that height? But if young thrill seekers ready to go, bring it on. I hadn't even thought about that. As far as records go, we got to look that up.
Yeah,
maybe that's the case.
The most height accessible park.
Right, yeah, I'll take it.
Well,
I gotta get on that.
Well, John, thanks so much.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having us out here. Make sure to come out and check out Wrath of Rakshasa. It's an amazing ride. So that is going to do it for my time here at Six Flags Great America for Wrath of Rakshasa's Media Day. This was an amazing experience. I'm so appreciative to Six Flags for inviting me out. This was a fantastic time getting to meet so many fellow creators who I watch and have looked up to for a long time. And of course, having the opportunity to preview a new roller coaster, Wrath of Rakshasa. What an incredible time. I think it's a great ride. I think it fits very well here into Great America's lineup. I love that it's notably different, being so inversion focused as opposed to a lot of other dives. It was a great ride. I had a great time. So thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, consider liking it. If you want to see more roller coaster content like this coming soon, consider subscribing. My name is John. You've been watching Midcourse Discourse, and I'll see you next time.